6am TV 3 News Now this morning.
It's a sight we'll see for a while as the spread of coronavirus shuts down Nebraska schools for the next 2 months. The latest on school leaders' attempts to adjust. And the growing number of cases is changing how some area firefighters will respond to the next emergency call. Why they say the new protocol protects both you and first responders. And while it's easy to get caught up in the numbers, it's important to remember that those figures represent people. A Bellevue woman tells us about her symptoms, treatment, and her feelings about dealing with the coronavirus. Good morning, I'm Courtney Johns. Today is Thursday, April 2nd. Thanks for starting your day with us. We'll get to those stories in just a moment, but first we're going to begin with a check of our forecast with Weather Alert Team meteorologist Mark Stitz. And I was looking at your weather map a second ago, and we're kind of in a nice bubble, as you put it, because it's really cold once you start traveling outside of the metro.
Yeah, even parts of northeast Nebraska already getting hit by that cold front, Courtney. And again, sadly, that cold front will push into Omaha later today, but for now, let's enjoy that more mild weather, right?
Yes, enjoy it while we can.
Yes, and man, 74 yesterday, Courtney, so that tied us so far this year for the warmest day of the year here in Omaha. So hopefully enjoyed it. And again, this morning we're still really mild out there, 56 degrees right now. Winds out of the south around 15 miles per hour, so it's a little bit breezy. Remember, that's why we are so mild. Plus, a lot of clouds out there this morning as well. Millard, you're holding on to 56, Bellevue 55, but Council Bluffs just a touch cooler as usual. Right now, you guys are coming at 52, but again, nicer than it was out there yesterday morning for everyone. Now, as far as the clouds, we have plenty of them for everyone to start the day. Also starting to give way to some spotty rain showers. All that right now south of I-80, but you can see it's moving northward and it's very hit and miss. So even south of I-80, some of you guys will be dry over the next couple of hours. But once that rainfall does arrive for you later on today, and for us here in Omaha, probably by lunchtime, we'll start to see more of that. But it's going to be on and off rain really through the rest of the day. So Emoji Man, he's got his umbrella out. Oh, tomorrow, look at Emoji Man. That's not good. He's all bundled up because it's going to be cold and windy out there. And unfortunately, some of this rain that will continue overnight actually changes into some freezing rain and snow for parts of the region. I think here in Omaha, our biggest concern will be freezing rain, so some slippery spots tomorrow morning. And then Saturday, don't worry, temperatures start to climb once again, and with the help of some sunshine. So he's got his sunglasses on and ready to go. So quite a variety of weather and emojis over the next 3 days. And of course, we'll detail it all out for you. More coming up in just a little bit. Courtney?
Yeah, that's definitely a range there. Thank you, Mark. Health officials say things will get worse before they get better as both Nebraska and Iowa report more coronavirus-related deaths. Nebraska's latest victim is a woman in her 70s. She lived in Madison County over by Norfolk. She's the state's 5th death. Statewide, there are now 214 confirmed cases. The majority of those cases are still in Douglas County. And Iowa health officials have confirmed 2 more coronavirus-related deaths yesterday, bringing the total up to 9. Statewide, there were 52 new cases of the virus diagnosed, making the overall number of Iowans affected to 549. The latest cases include a child in Pottawatomie County and an older adult in Harrison County. And Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds says steps already in place helped keep those numbers from being worse. State health officials expect a COVID-19 peak to hit around the middle or later part of the month.
It is a projection based on the assumptions that we're putting in. So it's really hopefully to help us kind of monitor what we think will be the peak so that we can make sure, again, to find out where the hot spots are at, to make sure the hospitals in that region have the supplies and the equipment that they need and the workforce, and how we can work collaboratively to mitigate, prepare, not overwhelm, hopefully prevent.
Reynolds says state leaders are trying to protect the health of Iowans while looking for ways to open the economy back up. And one of the steps taken by Nebraska's governor is to close state schools through May 31st. It came as he declared 15 new counties are now under directed health measure orders. That makes 56 counties under those orders. Bellevue Superintendent Jeff Rippey responded on Twitter saying the district will keep supporting students academically and emotionally. He answered one senior's question about graduation. He said he's not sure, adding, "Trust me, I want to see you walk across that stage as bad as you do." And universities across Nebraska are gearing up to help keep the coronavirus from spreading. A Creighton spokesperson tells 3 News Now the school is preparing to provide housing to those in the state who should be in quarantine or isolation. Those people will be quarantined to their rooms with meals delivered to them and will not have direct contact with Creighton employees. The move comes at the request of the governor as Nebraska leaders look at other housing options.
We're working right now and trying to get the dormitory rooms ready at the University of Omaha, University of Lincoln, and University of Kearney, as well as working on implementing a plan to open up some of the hotel rooms in the larger metropolitan areas to help with that type of overload. And to even use those hotel rooms as maybe even a way to transfer patients from being inpatients at the hospital back into the hotels or dormitory rooms for their convalescents.
Yesterday, both Governor Ricketts and Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds reaffirmed their decision not to issue stay-at-home orders. Possible coronavirus cases are just one call that first responders answer, but that threat caused by the virus is changing the way some Metro crews interact with the public. 3 News Now senior reporter Jake Wazakowski shows us what Bellevue firefighters are doing to protect both the public and themselves.
At a moment's notice, first responders put their life on the line for someone else. Now in Bellevue, residents will see them prepare a little differently because of the coronavirus. They've adopted new policies where only one crew member will initially enter an address, and they'll have personal protective equipment from head to toe: mask, gown, gloves, and eyewear. EMS Captain Anthony Rogers says in non-life-threatening situations, only one medic will go in, and it will take a few extra minutes, but it's for everyone's safety.
The benefit is that we're limiting access to the patient. That way, if the person is exposed to something, that one person is limited to that.
The medic will radio to others if it's safe to come in or if they need protective gear as well. The process to take off the PPE has changed to keep them clean and able to reuse some items.
We're limiting our use of supplies in case things get worse and we have to use more supply as the day goes on.
Bellevue Fire and Rescue now has these decontamination cabinets that in about 10 minutes they use UV lights where they can sanitize these P100 air filter masks so they don't have to buy as many and they can reuse them out in the field as well. Firefighter Kevin Longchamp says the virus is on his mind when entering a home, but he's gearing up to stay healthy.
Just like the rest of the public, we're trying to do all we can to protect ourselves and the public itself. So.
An effort to stop the spread and keep first responders ready to take action quickly.
We're not delaying care, we're trying to be safe. Safe for us and safe for the rest of the public.
Reporting from Bellevue, Jake Wazakowski, 3 News Now.
And the number of deaths across the country is now at more than 5,000. More than 1/5 of those deaths are in New York City. First responders from across the country formed a caravan of ambulances to help. New York's governor ordered the city's playgrounds closed, saying young New Yorkers need to do a better job of social distancing.
Who else has to die for you to understand you have a responsibility in this?
Florida, Nevada, and Pennsylvania all issued stay-at-home orders yesterday. At least 30 states and Washington, D.C. have similar orders in place. And there are nearly 217,000 coronavirus cases in the U.S., which is the most of any country in the world. But Italy and Spain both have thousands more of virus-related deaths. Worldwide, COVID-19 has killed roughly 47,000 people. There are more than 938,000 confirmed cases, with 195,000 of those listed as recovered. And as we report on the number of coronavirus cases, it's easy to just look at them as numbers, but there is a name behind every case. Chanel Thompson is from Bellevue. She's currently being treated at Nebraska Medicine in the COVID-19 unit. She's been in the hospital for the last 4 days. Thompson says her symptoms are cough, shortness of breath, as well as a loss of taste and smell. Thompson says she is starting to feel better and wants to remind people to speak with a doctor immediately if they start having symptoms.
I think it's just really important that we love and care for each other by being careful and having concern and care for our fellow people and just be very caring and careful about where we go and what we do and how we feel. That's all.
Reporter Kent Lunson will have an update on Thompson's treatment and how she's feeling during 3 News Now live at midday. And some healthcare workers and first responders got some special recognition for everything that they do. The Darmody family McDonald's partnered with the Hellgate Gas Company, hand-delivering lunch to local hospitals and fire stations yesterday. They want the workers to know their hard work, dedication, and sacrifice is not going unnoticed. Deliveries were made from Gretna all the way to Council Bluffs. First responders and healthcare workers can visit any of the 17 Darmody McDonald locations and get free coffee during the month of April. There's nothing that really beats McDonald's, is there, Mark?
I know, and especially too, we have to think, McDonald's is a large corporation, but a lot of times McDonald's are owned by local people who run them, so they're hurting right now too, but still able to help out others, which is great for them and everybody else they're helping. Yeah,
really wonderful there. Coming up later, we've been told not to worry about our pets during the coronavirus outbreak, but what about zoo animals? We'll head to the Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium and find out how they're dealing with the virus.
And very mild out there this morning. Temperatures in the mid-50s across most of the region, but a cold front already pushing into northeast Nebraska. That's going to cool things off later today as rain moves in and eventually cool us off enough that could cause some icy spots tomorrow morning. Full details coming up.
You're watching KMTV 3 News Now with Courtney Johns, Maya Sines, and weather with meteorologist Mark Stitz. This is KMTV 3 News Now this morning. This weather alert forecast sponsored by Elite Exteriors, roofing, siding, windows, and storm damage.
Most of us really mild this morning. Temperatures in the mid-50s across most of the region, including here in Omaha, where we're at 56. But look up towards northeast Nebraska. It's in the 30s up there. Norfolk coming at 35 because a cold front pushing on into those areas. And here in Columbus, they are at 42. So starting to cool off up there. You can see that's behind the cold front. So their winds, their little green arrows on the map, are out the north, bringing that cooler air already. For the rest of us, our winds are out the southeast, bringing that warmer air, keeping us very mild. But unfortunately, that cold front, it's not just going to sit there all day. It's going to push farther to the south and east throughout the day, cooling us off later in the afternoon. But good news is it's going to be breezy, lots of wind out there. For now, again, the wind's keeping us warm, but later in the day, those stronger winds gusting up to 30 miles per hour will be out of the north behind the cold front, cooling the rest of us off as well. So just know it's going to be breezy the next couple of days, and most of it will be bringing in colder air. Now, you can see some spotty rain showers starting to move into areas mainly south of I-80, but between York and Lincoln, some of that now approaching the I-80 corridor. Farther up to the north, though, we're still dry, but these spotty rain showers will continue to push north through the rest of the morning, and by lunchtime I think we'll all be looking at least some hit and miss rain across the region. So again, there we are at lunchtime. Some of those pockets of rainfall will be a little bit heavier than others. I think most of this rainfall will be on the light side though. The same thing this afternoon, that hit and miss rainfall will continue. So basically once the rain arrives later this morning, it's going to be on and off rain through the rest of the day. Now before the cold front arrives, I think we'll have just enough time just after lunch to hit the low 60s, but that cold front will cool us off more quickly across the metro this evening. So by the time you drive home at 5 o'clock, you can see we're back down into the mid-50s. Those strong winds continue to bring in even colder air overnight tonight, and here we are just ahead of the Friday morning commute. Areas farther towards northwest Missouri still just seeing rainfall. Your temperatures are above freezing. But you can see these pink areas, that's rain, and with temperatures below freezing at the surface, that means freezing rainfall for those areas. Now, our benefit is it's been warm the last few days, so it's going to take time to cool the roads off, but things like bridges and overpasses will freeze up more quickly since the cold air is attacking them from below and from above. So again, those are the areas especially we need to watch out for tomorrow morning because some icy spots will be possible with that freezing rain. Now head farther up to the north and west, rain or snow, becomes more likely. You can see temperatures in the mid-20s up there towards Norfolk. You guys will see snow and maybe even accumulating snow as well for you guys. But by lunchtime on Friday, most of the rain's gone. And again, areas farther towards northwest Missouri, your temperature should stay above freezing through all this, keeping you guys more as just rainfall. Now late tomorrow afternoon, some of us will even see some sunshine, but it's going to be cold and windy. Temperatures only near 40 tomorrow afternoon. Now as far as snow accumulation, all that stays north of Omaha, only up to an inch, and the closer areas to an inch would be up towards very far northeast Nebraska, a little bit closer to the I-80 corridor, maybe a dusting at best. So again, the biggest issue for Omaha going to be potential for icy spots tomorrow morning with the freezing rain. But today, highs near 61, then we quickly cool off later in the day as the cold front moves in. On and off off rain throughout the entire day. Overnight tonight, then we drop down to 29, allowing for some of that freezing rain to cause some icy spots. And we're still breezy tomorrow with highs only near 40 and some late day sunshine. Winds will be lighter over the weekend as we start to warm up. Low 50s Saturday, Sunday back into the 60s, and I think 70s actually return early next week, Monday and Tuesday, but with it a couple spotty rain showers, but most of us look to keep it dry. But of course, for updates on that little wintry mix coming in tomorrow morning, download our free Storm Shield app for Apple and Android smartphones and tablets.
Welcome back. It's now 6:21, temperature 56 on this Thursday morning, and here's a live look from our Omaha World Herald camera, looking at downtown Omaha. Animal experts say pets like cats or dogs can't get or spread COVID-19 to other animals or humans, but there is a group of animals that is vulnerable to the virus and could potentially be infected and spread it to others. Reporter Ruta Olsenitis spoke with staff at the Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium to learn more.
The Omaha Henry Dorley Zoo parking lot currently sits empty. No visitors, minimal staff until at least April 30th.
We have what we consider essential and non-essential personnel. And of course, the keepers and the veterinary staff and the dietitians are all essential.
So there are still staff taking care of the animals, but even they are using extra precaution, especially because primates are at risk for coronavirus.
The primates, especially the apes, gorillas, and orangs, in our case, we know can get some of those things like the flu. In fact, we vaccinate them every year for the flu.
And it's not just the flu. Primates can pick up common respiratory infections that affect humans, including COVID-19.
As we've heard recently, sometimes the symptoms don't show until you're already a carrier, and we didn't want to infect any of those animals. And vice versa, we didn't want them to infect our employees.
But those animals are really the only ones that could become infected or infect others. As of right now, medical experts have no reason to believe that common household pets like cats or dogs can carry the virus.
I heard early on there was some cases where people thought they got it from their dog or they gave it to their dog. But I think some of those have kind of been, debunked.
According to the American Veterinary Medical Association, there is no evidence at this point to indicate that pets spread COVID-19 to other animals, including people. However, out of an abundance of caution, remember to wash your hands after handling animals and limit contact if you're sick. Reporting in Omaha, Ruta Olsenitis, 3 News Now.
Still to come in our We're Open Omaha. Today we head to Elkhorn to check out some great barbecue at Boyd and Charlie's. Stay with us.
This weather alert forecast sponsored by Elite Exteriors, roofing, siding, windows, and storm damage.
We are really mild out there this morning, but not everyone is, just mainly our little corner of the region. Mid-50s, you can see, including in Omaha at 56, but a cold front pushing into the region already, impacting northeast Nebraska. That's why Norfolk down to 35 and Columbus at 42. But look behind that, 20s across most of Nebraska, even some teens out there in the panhandle. The rest of Iowa, not too bad, mainly 40s across the state, but again, some 50s here in the western area of Iowa. Rain showers also moving into areas mainly along and south of I-80. Most of this rainfall on the light side, but we'll see some pockets of heavier rain as it moves in as well, mixed in. And it looks like once the rain does begin where you live, you'll see on and off rain then really through the rest of the day. And again, it's going to push into Omaha a little bit later on this morning. Now we're stuck with it at times throughout the rest of the day. But some good news to talk about besides the cold front arriving later today. Our Nebraska Humane Society Dog of the Day. This guy's name is Mitch. He's just 1 year old, so obviously very energetic, and you can see him running around there at the Humane Society in that picture. He's looking for his forever home and his forever family. We are told he would do best in a home without super young kiddos. He does get very excited when he plays, so don't want to have them knocking the kids over or anything like that, the smaller ones at least. So make sure you have older kids with Mitch. And we're also told he knows some basic commands like sit and shake. So he's on his way to being a very good boy. Hopefully you'll go check him out at the Humane Society. If not, plenty of other great options out there as well. As far as the dog walks today, you'll want to download that Storm Shield app. Check the radar before you head outside on it to make sure a rain shower is not about to hit you, because we'll be dodging that rain all day long. Upper 50s at lunchtime. Then we're down into the mid 50s behind the cold front by 5 o'clock, and then mid 40s by this evening. And yes, it gets even colder tomorrow morning, so make sure you get those walks in a little bit earlier in the afternoon before we do start to cool things off.
This is KMTV 3 News Now, this morning.
Good morning, I'm Courtney Johns. Today is Thursday, April 2nd. Thanks for starting your day with us. We'll have a look at those top stories in just a moment, but first we're going to check with our forecast. I'm just going to wait. You ready, Mark?
I was born ready, Courtney.
You were born ready. We were waiting a couple of seconds. I know you've been busy all morning running around and doing everything. I tried to slow down and give you a second to collect yourself, and you made it.
How dare you blame that delay on me?
I don't know who else
Whether
to blame
it's
it
true
on.
or not.
You do have a lot going on, especially with what we have to, I guess, look forward to tomorrow, or what we'll see tomorrow.
I think we can look forward to early next week when the 70s come back, but I don't know if we want to look forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, next week sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Maybe we can just hibernate for the next day or so.
That sounds amazing.
Doesn't
Little Netflix, blanket on at home. Close those windows this morning if you've had them open because cold front moving on in, Courtney, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Yep, just got to bundle up, stay inside.
Yep, but right now, live look at Creighton University. You can see dry across the downtown Omaha area. Most of the Omaha metro still dry. Starting to see a little bit of daylight come out, but still a lot of clouds out there, helping to block out some of that very early morning sunshine. Epley Airfield, though, very mild, 56 degrees right now, and a little bit breezy. Those winds out of the southeast around 15 miles per hour. But remember, that's the wind and the cloud cover keeping us more mild out there to start the day. Millard, you guys are at 58 right now. Bellevue 55 and Council Bluffs just a touch cooler right now at 52. Now, most of us are dry, but you can see towards the end of the radar loop, we start to see a few spotty rain showers moving up towards I-80 right now. But again, for now, it's very hit and miss, but this rain will become more common later in the morning as it expands northward. And then once it arrives, we'll see on and off rain really through the rest of the day. And during those dry periods, it will stay cloudy. So mild for the morning commute, giving it a green light because most of that rainfall won't be in Omaha by then. But this afternoon, we will be seeing those scattered rain showers and wet roads, and temperatures still in the mid-50s for the drive home. But don't worry, somewhere early in the afternoon, we should get to about 61. But again, the cold front is moving into our area right now, and that's why we will be cooling off more quickly later on today. And unfortunately, Courtney, some of that rain turns into freezing rain and snow tomorrow morning. So let you know who will be impacted by that coming up in just a little bit.
All right, thank you, Mark. A fifth person has died from coronavirus here in Nebraska. Elkhorn-Logan Valley Public Health Department says the woman was from Madison County and in her 70s. She did have underlying health conditions. Now, we've learned an active duty service member at Offutt Air Force Base has tested positive for the virus. That person didn't have contact with others at the base, but the base is currently imposing measures for a moderate health threat. Also, 5 residents and 1 employee from the Douglas County Health Center are in the hospital in stable condition this morning. Nebraska has 214 confirmed cases of coronavirus, and 106 are here in Douglas County. And we have an update now on the outbreak at a senior living facility in Blair. The Three Rivers Public Health Department says Carter House residents were admitted to Midlands Hospital. The hospital reopened a floor to serve as a quarantine unit for the residents who either had COVID-19 or were exposed to it. It comes following a temporary closure of the Carter House. And 2 more people have died from coronavirus in Iowa, and the state has announced an additional 52 confirmed cases. The total now stands at 549 cases in Iowa with 9 deaths. In our area, a child in Pottawatomie County tested positive. Another case was also reported in Harrison County. And a Douglas County man is behind bars this morning accused of threatening the Douglas County Health Director over her response to the coronavirus. Reporter John Madden has more on what happened and how law enforcement officers were able to track down the suspect.
Douglas County Sheriff's Office received information that Douglas County Health Director Dr. Adipour had received multiple threatening and disturbing emails.
Those emails allegedly came from this man, 57-year-old Ronald Pinskowski, also known as Ron Gerard, a former Omaha meteorologist and spokesperson for former Omaha Mayor Jim Suttle. He was arrested Tuesday for the threatening emails.
The emails threatened to lynch her and to slice her throat.
Captain Wayne Hudson says Pinskowski was upset over Dr. Pour's involvement with the response to the coronavirus, like telling people to stay home. He started sending those threatening emails over a period of a week from multiple accounts. hiding his identity.
The email was changed at least once when he was blocked, but one could suppose that he was blocked by Dr. Poor and did not know that it had risen to the investigative level yet.
Will Wren of the Sheriff's Office says investigators were able to track down the emails coming from a cell phone belonging to Pinskowski, to which they arrested him at his home on Tuesday.
When we did arrive and he was met at the door, I got the distinct impression that he was unsurprised, that surprised but not surprised, as if he knew exactly why we were there.
Now authorities want to use this case as an example for any other threats made towards public officials.
The Sheriff's Office takes these threats seriously. If we receive any further reports of threats, we will investigate thoroughly, and the individuals responsible, we will request that they be prosecuted fully.
As for Dr. Poor, Douglas County Commissioner Chris Rogers says she's equipped to handle this.
She does have some concern, but she's tough, and she'll make it through this.
And he also warns the public frustration may continue to grow as the coronavirus spreads, but violence is not the answer.
This is going to get a whole lot worse before it gets better. So I want to make a continued plea out to the citizens in Douglas County and to the citizens of Omaha to give us patience on this.
In Omaha, John Madden, 3 News Now.
Unusually.
The Sheriff's Office says no weapons were found in Pinskowski's home when they arrested him. He's currently being held in Douglas County Corrections, and he's being charged with making terroristic threats and stalking. And the way we live has dramatically changed over the past few weeks. Many are now working from home, and with that, facing new challenges. 3 News Now reporter Danielle Davis, who is also working from home, joins us live. Danny, what can happen to our mental state when we work from home?
Courtney, working from home can be a challenge. Now, I spoke with psychologist Stacy Miller, and she says what you want to do for good mental health is not concentrate on what you can't do, but instead concentrate on the positive, the things that you can do. And she says, number one, starting off working from home, is you want to set a schedule. Now, being trapped inside 4 walls all day can present some challenges. You've got your bed, your TV, sofa, and of course, those wonderful video games. All great distractions when you're at home. So the experts say you have to set a schedule and keep your normal work hours. Get up at your regular time so you won't interrupt your sleep pattern, and do normal things like brush your teeth, comb your hair, and get dressed. And socializing with coworkers is also very important. You can do video conference calls, live chat rooms. The important thing is to not work in a feeling of isolation.
Prepare for the workday like I'm physically going to work. So maybe my schedule is to get up, eat breakfast, brush my teeth, do my hair, do my makeup. I'm going to do those exact same things even though I'm only working from home. Because if we do what we normally do, it really puts us in the professional and productive mindset working from home.
For good mental health, Miller also suggests taking regular breaks. Make sure you stretch throughout the day, and you can also take walks, isolated, solitary walks, of course. Now, also, the one thing she says you don't want to do, while it may seem like a good idea, is you don't want to work from your bed. You want to get up, move around, because working from your bed can interfere with productivity as well as motivation. And also, the number one thing you want to do is create an at-home workstation. Get up out of the bed and work from that workstation. This is Danielle Davis, 3 News Now this morning. Courtney, back to you.
All right, thanks, Danny. Very tempting to work from your bed, though. I can understand that. Now, even though we can't come together in person, we can still come together as a community. KMTV has started a campaign, We're Open Omaha. It's a partnership between us and local businesses with one goal, getting them through this tough time. Every day, we're shining a light on a business or a restaurant that continues to serve our community and our neighborhoods. And this morning, anchor Maya Science focuses on an Elkhorn barbecue restaurant.
In the heart of Elkhorn, Boyd & Charlie's is open and adjusting to this pandemic by offering curbside service. Open for nearly 17 years, Boyd & Charlie serves up anything and everything barbecue and more.
Good barbecue. We still eat it almost every day, so if that tells you anything about it. Family owned.
Right now they have all the meats to go, offering to-go service and delivery through Grubhub and DoorDash. Included in that is their special, a rack of ribs for $11.99.
Boyd & Charlie's Barbecue, that's Nate.
Co-owners Nate Ruffino and Perry Veer say they felt supported so far.
We never dreamed that the downtown Elkhorn would be the way it is today. We've got great community support, especially through times like this, people coming out and supporting us.
Which they're grateful for.
We anticipated not having a whole lot of traffic. When we went from being able to have people dine in, we thought, wow, we've taken a hit already. Now we're going to take another hit.
Like many small business owners, the duo is worried about the longevity of this.
If this thing continues, that we're going to need to find money to operate, and we're willing to do that to protect our staff as much as we can. But of course, there's always your limits, how far you can go, and how far the banks are willing to work with you.
People have to eat, but people are scared, and so we're just kind of doing our best. We're staying nice and clean, and I'm cleaning the door every time people leave. I clean the bar, the menus, everything else like that, just to make sure everyone is safe environment where they can still pick up some great barbecue, get out of their house for a quick minute.
How far back will this put you? Let's say this does go till May 1st.
Well, I think if you'd probably just think about most small businesses operate from week to week. In other words, what your sales are this week, most likely pay last week's bills. So now we've lost 2 weeks. We've had probably over 50% of our business taken away.
So they're doing their best to get customers in the door, including a weekly gift card raffle.
For anybody that comes in, put the name in for a raffle for $25 gift card.
A little incentive to say thank you to those supporting them with hope that business continues.
You guys take care, stay safe.
So we're cutting wherever we can to support our staff. We know that on our P&Ls that our food costs and our labor are the two biggest line item expenses. And we're going to protect our staff as long as we can. The only way that'll happen is if our good customers keep coming through the door.
Once again, Boyd and Charlie's Barbecue is open. It's on Main Street in Elkhorn. It offers curbside and delivery through Grubhub and DoorDash at adjusted hours. And you can find information on all the businesses we've featured on our webpage in a special section called We Are Open Omaha. And you know, I know it's a small thing to say, Mark, but I really do miss going to restaurants and just being able to sit down with a friend. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, you know, it's not that bad, but there is something really great about being able to sit down with someone and enjoy a good meal.
Yeah, definitely different. Plus, you know, you're supporting the waiters, the waitresses, and so obviously a lot of people are hurting right now in the restaurant industry especially. But again, at least they're able to keep functioning for now with the takeout and delivery. As long as we keep on going there and as long as we stay hungry and they keep feeding us, we'll get through this.
I think I can always stay hungry.
Yeah.
I'll be fine on that part.
Exactly.
Coming up later, now that the stimulus package has passed, what should you do about student loans? Is it better to keep making payments? Well, we'll have the answer coming up.
And nice mild start to our day. Right now, Omaha coming at 56 degrees. A little bit of daylight starting to come out there in our live view from our Harris Casino camera. But don't worry. Rain, snow, and a little bit of everything on the way, just in case you were thinking yesterday was summer. A reminder of spring the next couple of days. We'll time all that wintry mix-up for you coming up.
Welcome back. The time now is 6:46. If you are one of the millions of Americans who struggle with paying down your student loan, the recently passed stimulus package may offer some relief. Levi Ismail from our Nashville sister station tells us why paying off your loan when it's not required is a smart move.
In the U.S., there are more than 44 million student loan borrowers with a total debt of $1.5 trillion. Now, to put that into perspective, that's about $34,000 of debt for each borrower. What the federal stimulus bill does is it offers a window of at least 6 months from now where you can put off payments and not worry about interest piling up. If you're on a loan rehabilitation program, well, you won't lose any of your progress, and don't expect any calls from debt collectors either. Tiffany Summers is the Director of Financial Aid over at Lipscomb University and says while this may offer some breathing room, you could also use it as a time to pay off your loan faster.
All of the payment is going towards your principal and not towards any interest. So it can help to actually pay down on your loan a little bit sooner now because the interest is not accruing.
These changes apply to federal student loans, which means those with private loans must ask their providers what they can do for them. As most companies are willing to work with borrowers under these tough circumstances, Summers says it's worth the call.
It is going to take some time for them to update their systems and get up to all of their servicers. So I'd say have a little bit of patience with them, but in all cases, definitely check with your loan servicer.
Levi Ismail, News Channel 5.
This weather alert forecast sponsored by Elite Exteriors, roofing, siding, windows, and storm damage.
Most of us very mild out there this morning. Here in Omaha, we're at 56 degrees, and those 50s extend a little bit farther north and west into Lincoln, Fremont, and Tacoma, but then you find some colder weather farther up towards northeast Nebraska. Man, 35 and 36 right now in Norfolk and Wayne. That's because the cold front has hit them. In Columbus, you're on the edge of it, now down to 42 degrees. And yes, that cold front will be moving into our area later on today. But thankfully, before it gets here, we'll have enough time to warm up, at least in the low 60s early this afternoon. But you can see those winds out of the north and northeast Nebraska behind that cold front, and that's why their cooler air is moving in. But for the rest of us, our wind is still out of the southeast, helping to pull in that warmer air, and that's one of the reasons we're so mild out there this morning. Also helping to keep us mild, a lot of cloud cover out there too. But our winds will stay on the breezy side through the rest of the day. Again, this morning, that wind will be out of the south, helping to get us into those low 60s around lunchtime or shortly after. But after that, all of the wind going to be back out of the north, and that will be bringing in much colder air. So wind gusts around 25 miles per hour throughout the afternoon. But overnight tonight, we could see those wind gusts a little bit stronger than that. So again, a lot of cloud cover out there. Unfortunately, not going to see much in the way of sunshine today. And areas along and south of I-80 still seeing a few hit and miss rain showers. But again, areas like Plattsmouth, Nebraska City, you guys are south of I-80 obviously, but you're not seeing rainfall yet. So it's hit and miss. Some of us will see it this morning, some of us won't, but we'll go to Futurecast and show you that we are going to see more of this move in a little bit later on in the day. So here we are at lunchtime. At that point, hit and miss rain showers, really possible for anyone. And once the rain does arrive for you, we'll unfortunately see that on and off rain really through the rest of the day. But don't worry, there will be plenty of dry weather mixed in there as well. And a lot of this rainfall is going to be on the light side, but not all of it. Here we are for the 5 o'clock hour for your drive home. Again, early in the afternoon, I think we hit the low 60s for areas along and south of I-80. But in Omaha by 5 o'clock, we're already cooling off into the mid 50s. So we are going to cool off more quickly due to today's cold front, a little bit more quickly than normal at least. And already 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock this evening, areas like northeast Nebraska starting to see a little bit more of a wintry mix begin to move in for them because they'll be in the mid 30s at that point. So again, you guys will be much colder all day long up there. Anyway, as we go to the overnight hours though, that cold air continues to blow in with the strong winds. And at that point, the I-80 corridor, including Omaha, will start to see more of a wintry mix. That's the area in pink from Denison towards Beatrice. Unfortunately, some of that is going to be freezing rainfall. So we could see some icy spots out there for the Friday morning commute across the metro. Biggest concern will be bridges and overpasses, other areas that are raised up surfaces where the air can attack from the bottom and the top of the road surface. So again, we'll watch for a few slick spots tomorrow morning. And again, northeast Nebraska seeing snow tomorrow morning, but areas farther down to the south, you guys will just stay as rainfall for southeast Nebraska, southwest Iowa, and northwest Missouri. Anyway, by lunchtime tomorrow, most of this is out of here. In parts of eastern Nebraska, we'll actually see some sunshine late tomorrow, but the main thing we're going to notice tomorrow, it's going to be cold and it's going to be windy out there. As far as snow accumulation, that stays north of I-80, or at least most of north of I-80, but up towards northeast Nebraska, up to an inch as possible. Those other areas in light blue, probably going to be a dusting at best in those areas. Yeah, a lot of this is going to melt. It's warm out there today again. So anyway, highs near 61 early this afternoon, then we quickly cool down behind the cold front. Mostly cloudy with on and off rain all day long. Overnight, the rain continues at times, eventually turning into a wintry mix depending on where you live. Some of that snow, some of it freezing rain. Lows near 29. Again, freezing rain, the biggest concern for Omaha tomorrow morning. But tomorrow afternoon, we're dry, a little bit of sunshine late in the day. Windy and cold, highs near 40. Saturday, the wind lightens up and we start to warm back up. Low 50s to start the weekend. Sunday, back to the 60s, and then 70s return early next week. But Monday and Tuesday will come with a couple spotty rain showers for us to dodge as well. But of course, for a live look at radar as that wintry mix moves in overnight and a latest forecast, download the free Storm Shield app for Apple and Android smartphones and tablets.
Welcome back, and before we go, here's a look at some of the stories we'll be following for you today. We have the 411 on 3newsnow.com and on our social media sites. A fifth person has died from coronavirus here in Nebraska. Elkhorn-Logan Valley Public Health Department confirmed the woman was in her 70s in Madison County and had underlying health conditions. And we've learned an active duty service member at Offutt Air Force Base has tested positive for the virus. The person did not have contact with others at the base. The base is currently imposing measures for a moderate health threat. Also, 5 residents and 1 employee from the Douglas County Health Center are in the hospital in stable condition this morning. Nebraska has 214 total cases, and 106 are in Douglas County. 2 more people have died from coronavirus in Iowa. The state saw 52 additional cases. The total now stands at 549 cases in Iowa, and there have been a total of 9 deaths. In our area, a child in Pottawatomie County has tested positive for the virus. Another case was also reported in Harrison County. And universities across Nebraska are gearing up to help keep the coronavirus from spreading. A Creighton spokesperson tells 3 News Now the school is preparing to provide housing for those who the state says should be self-quarantined or in isolation. Those people will be quarantined to their rooms with meals delivered to them and will not have direct contact with Creighton employees. The move comes at the request of the governor as Nebraska leaders look at other housing options. And working from home can be a challenge. Psychologist Stacy Miller told 3 News Now good mental health says you should concentrate on what you can do instead and just stay positive and concentrate on what you can do. Start your day by creating a schedule for yourself. We have her interview and other tips on 3newsnow.com. And a group of volunteers in Iowa is not letting social distancing stop them from bringing smiles to the faces of some elderly patients. Homestead House in Iowa got a special visit yesterday from llamas. How sweet is that? The volunteers walked the animals around the home to boost morale and send residents an important message. Hey, you're not forgotten. The organizers hope to bring the llamas back when the pandemic ends so the residents can actually pet them. That is so adorable there. I love that.
I loved how that one woman had a little thank you note in her window too.
I know. I'm loving all the window notes that people are putting too. You know, just because we can't be next to each other doesn't mean that we can't bring each other together.
I mean, especially those people in the senior homes like that, they don't get many visitors to begin with sometimes, especially this time, visitors are locked out. So I'm sure it's amazing for them to have, no matter what animal it is, something to entertain them for a little while outside. So that's good.
Really wonderful.
All right, today, temperature-wise, we'll be in the upper 50s by lunchtime. Sounds great. Maybe some low 60s very early in the afternoon before a cold front arrives. And yes, that's going to knock us to the mid-50s by 5. And by 8 o'clock, we're down into the 40s. Now, it is going to be breezy all day long, and along with it, on and off rain showers throughout the entire day as well. The problem is, as we go into the overnight hours, some of that will change into some freezing rain across the metro as temperatures dip into the upper 20s. So some slick spots will be possible heading into the Friday morning commute.